we should be live on Facebook shortly, and I hope everyone else now will be able to join us. Anyway, as we continue, I want to ask, and you can, I think I can just give you some of the guidelines. Below the chat, there is a point where you can be able to chat and ask any question. We can have a one-on-one together with my panelists if you have a question. Then also on your screens, you'll see there's a place where you can be able to ask questions. There's a Q&A. So when you send us your question, we will be live here. We will be able to answer your question. So straight onto it. How do you get to a point where you get a six-figure salary, even without a degree or a master's? That is what we are going to unveil tonight. And I can see already someone who has asked, sending in a question. My team will be there asking it. So maybe quick mention, Ian, there's Faith Mwendwa, there's Sam Bogo, there's Anne, there's Catherine Dongo, there's Charity. You can see Cynthia, there's Abdi, Evelyn, there's Galaxy A30. Please change it to your name. It will be much easier to communicate that way. I can see also there's a Huawei change and put in your name. It will be much better. Thank you, James Dendito, for joining us. There's Kyoko, John Mack, there's Marianne Abongo, there's Nancy, Shayla, there's Technospark, change it to your name. Tesla, also change it to your name. There's Thomas and all that. This is great. I can see more people joining it, and you will not regret having spent your time here with me live in the session. And I think I will be able to start right away. Okay, so here go. Yeah, this is the seminar that we are here for. And just want to say that if this, just a bit, there we go. Probably this is not your first seminar that you are attending or a workshop about how you can be able to progress in your career. And if you have failed doing that in advance, it is not your fault. And there is a lot of information out there. And sometimes that information overload is what keeps us away from being successful. But that should not be you. I am here to ensure that, first of all, if you have any concern, I want to put them to rest and assure you that you can be able to be successful in your career. You can be able to get that six-figure salary. Irrespective of the situation that we are in right now in the country, there are so many people who are employed who are facing a lot of even being discontinued from work, being fired, or just going for unpaid leave. But that, despite the situation, you can still be able to get to a point where you are in the leadership and the management position, and I'll share with you tonight. We also grow up in a society where entrepreneurship seems to be really glorified, and it's about, are you an entrepreneur or are you an employee? And most of the time, an employee is looked down upon, is like it is an inferior option. But I'm here to tell you that you can be able to succeed as an employee. You can, and most of us, most people are more productive, are more happy, are more satisfied as employees rather than entrepreneurs. If you have ever thought about the government or the education system is set up such that you can fail or not proceed your life, probably you're right. Actually, they might have their own reasons for doing that. They want to keep you in debt and they want to keep you in need throughout. But that is not what we want for you. We are here to encourage you to still go ahead and seek that dream job. And I'm very sure if you get that dream job that you're very passionate about, you can be able to do a very good job at it. And at the same time, be able to be paid and compensated well for that job. So I want to ask, if you're given a choice to work at the job of your dreams and something that you're really passionate about, or you get a job that you're paid a lot, you're paid a six-figure salary, which one would you go for? And my question, again, I would add and say, why not go for both? And that is why we are here. I can see more people raising their hand. I really appreciate the communication. Yeah, but you have any question, there's one of the icons below, probably your screen or on your phone, where you can be able to ask any question. We also have a chat option. Please leave your comment there on the chat. I'll be able to read them as we continue. Remember, I asked, you can leave this in your chat. What is it that dream job that you're thinking about, if you get it and you get a six-figure salary, what does that mean for you? I know most people, we have different values. Some will be about financial freedom. Some will be about freedom to move around, to live wherever they want to live. Some will be about building a house, buying a car, going on holiday, growing, raising their children the right way, taking them to good schools. What does a six-figure salary really mean to you? I really appreciate if you can be able to put that in the comment. And at the same time, I know we are going live. I can't see you, but you can see me. I want you to take a moment and just close your eyes, and I want you to see that six-figure salary, that dream job that you want to have. And inside it, once you have that crystal clear, that picture, I want you to clench your hands, hold the fist, and say, yes, yes. It might look weird. You might be alone, but if you do it, we will start moving towards that dream job, and I'll assist you to show you how do we get there. So this training is for two kinds of people. Number one, if you're a professional who feels that the lack of a degree is the hindrance to your career progression, I am here to help you and to show you that actually a lack of a degree should not be the hindrance. And the second kind of person that I'm targeting for this training is someone with or without a degree still feels stuck in their career. You have stayed in a position for very long. There's very little growth, and you're really unsatisfied with the kind of working environment. You feel like your potential is not fully being utilized. This is the right training for you. And my goal is to share with you that the only way for you to get to a six-figure salary without a degree or a master's is by acquiring what I call the Badass Pro skills. And I'll share more about that. And for you to get these Badass Pro skills, you need to get into a program called the Badass Pro program. And I'll be sharing with you what this program is all about and what it can do for you. A little bit about myself. My name is Daniel Mutuku. I'm the founder of Career Point Solutions. And 10 years ago, when we started this company, I've worked in different positions as recruitment, career advisory, personal and development coach. And over the years, I've gathered a lot of insights in terms of what makes people progress and others not to. And that is what I'm going to share with you this evening. I'm also a certified digital marketer by Google, and I belong to several organizations, and among the groups that I'm a member of, and a very proud member of a group called LYP, the League of Young Professionals. In addition to that, I have written two books, well, actually three. The first one is called How to Easily Use Facebook for Profit. Then I wrote the second book, which is Blueprint for Success. And the beginning of this year, I wrote the third book, which is called Conquer Your Year 2020, Make It Your Best Year Ever. It is an ebook. And if you go to YouTube, just search my name, Daniel Mutuku. And once you get to my YouTube channel, subscribe. And the first video you watch, it will give you details on how you can be able to get the book, Conquer the Year 2020. Make 2020 your best year ever. It's a free book. You can easily get it. Go to YouTube, find my name, Daniel Mutuku. Once you see a video with this image, just watch it through. You will see the instruction, and you will be able to download my book for free. So that is much about me and how I ended up here. And I just want to share a short story about me and how I ended up realizing these Badass Pro skills and how they have helped me and others to be able to get this six-figure salary. And I'm very serious about it, and it is very much possible. So I cleared my schooling way back in 2009, and I started my job search. And on average, it is said that, and I've seen it, it takes about 2 to 3 years for a fresh graduate to secure their first good job. I was lucky. It took me about 9 months or so. And sometime, that is in 2010, I got my first good job. That is in April 2010. And at that particular point, I was living in Nakuru, and I was running a simple shop. It's called Computer Services. Nowadays, they are no longer, few of them are there. They were called Communication Bureau, where you do printing, typing, typesetting, and such little things. Computers were a rare commodity, and so was internet. So I would run this small bureau, and later on in the evening, I would go to a cyber, because where I was, we didn't have any internet. And I had subscribed to several job boards where they would send me job alerts on about the jobs, and I would apply to these jobs just using internet through email. And it was quite interesting because I kept on getting a lot of jobs. I would apply, but I never got invited for an interview. But I was lucky this time where I was called for an interview, which was taking place in Nairobi, here in Nairobi, consolidated building, and I was supposed to be there at 8 a.m. I remember it was a Tuesday. I can't remember the date. So I woke up very early, very excited to go for this interview. I left Nakuru, I think, at around 6. By 8, I was seated at the office. It was called Regiotech, yeah, and they were having a program project called Computer for Schools project. So I got there. I met the lady who was there, the personal assistant to the boss, and he told me the boss is not yet here, so you'll have to wait. And I waited, and I waited up to around 10. And I think the lady decided, why keep on waiting for the boss while I can still conduct the interview? So she decided to set up a place where we can have the interview. And the moment she finished and we were about to start the interview, the boss came and he just said, come with me. So as we entered, the two of us, to his office, he turned around, looked at me straight in the face and asked me, can you teach? And I looked straight back to his eyes. He was tall, big. Of course, I'm short. I looked up and I told him, yes, I can teach. He looked at me the second time and asked me, are you sure you can teach? I stood straight, my head up, and I told him to his face, I have taught before and I can teach again. He paused. He called one of the secretaries who were out. She came in. She was called Ndinda. And they just asked, do you know this gentleman? Ndinda said, no. And he asked me, do you know this lady? I said, no. His assumption was because we come from the same community, probably we might be knowing each other. So no, we didn't know each other. That was the case. So he went ahead and just said, this gentleman from your place has just gotten a job. And that is how I got my first job, with those two questions. And I was lucky. I was posted in a school back, which is in Siaya. We were setting up computer labs for schools, teaching students how to use the computers, and at the same time teaching teachers how to create or how to use computers also for their learning. And it was a great experience. And I stayed there for about 1.5 years. And 2010 is when now I got my real, what I can say, a 6-figure job. And that is when I realized there's something called the Badass Pro skills. That is what I named it, the Badass Pro skills. And these are skills that you can use them over and over. They will give you predictable results. Probably out there, you don't want to be a teacher, but how does it work for you to get a job? You just say a job, you apply. If you're lucky, they invite you for an interview. If the interviewers like you, they offer you a job. And probably it's not the job that you like. It is not your dream job. And they even doesn't have a good pay. But just because you didn't have a job and they provided you with the opportunity, you get a job. But with the Badass Pro skills, these are tried and tested techniques that they are predictable. They will give you the results. And I will talk about them as we proceed. So I crafted this thing called Badass Pro jobs. And look at this is a feedback that I got from a gentleman called Alexander. So he sent me an email telling me, thank you. I attended a career presentation last time. This Monday, I was interviewed for the position of liaison officer, Kenya Airways. And Wednesday, this week, I got the job. I am the guy who asked several questions regarding the difference between an NGO and corporate CV. Thank you. I really benefited a lot from it. This is a gentleman who attended one of the talks. It's just due to these circumstances that we cannot have the physical training. I still have physical training, but I have gone to now do this live broadcast. And this gentleman came to the physical training and we talked, and he came to the office and I told him what to do. And he was so happy to retire and send me an email telling me he actually got the job that he was looking for. So it does not only work, it did this Barras Pro skills. They didn't just work for me, they also worked for Alexander and many other more people I'll be showing you as we proceed. So I have one great task or two secrets that I'm going to share with you in the next, I can see time is really gone, probably the next 45 minutes. And that would be, how do you triumph over more qualified and experienced candidate? How do you negotiate a six-figure salary? So those are the key two secrets that I'm going to share. Because of time, I might not be able to go through that, but I want to pause and check your comments. I want to pause and check any questions that you have asked, and I'll also see any of the chats that you have been sending along. So just checking here, I can see, yes, some chats of people who have been engaging with us. I want to say thank you very much. There's Evelyn Wambogo saying a six-figure salary means, first of all, living debt-free life, i.e. the student loan and future investment for my family. I totally feel you, Evelyn. And remember, at some point I said, did you feel as if the government and the schooling system does not want you to succeed? In our schooling system, you end up after graduating with a student loan and with no tangible skills that you can go to the marketplace and assist you get the job to pay the loan. So thank you very much for bringing that up. I think, yeah, a six-figure will be able to make you debt-free and also have that investment for your family. I can see some Mbogo saying six-figure salary means change in quality of life. Yeah, it is important. Money is very important. And it is an enabler. It allows you to be able to get what you need and what is adequate and what is necessary. Thank you. I can see Joyce Dungu saying, Wangari here, glad to join. Asante Sana, please mention salary negotiation skills. That is Cynthia. One of the secrets, that is the second secret I'll be sharing with you, is how do you negotiate a salary? So stick in here with me, Cynthia, you'll be able to get to know that. Someone using Galaxy A30, hello, good evening. Thank you very much. I will appreciate if you can just change it to your name. Then there's Letich here who say, will this be available online on YouTube? Yes, after this broadcast, I'll be able to upload it on YouTube for a limited amount of time. You can replay it probably tomorrow, so don't worry. Nancy saying six-figure salary above 100,000. Yeah, a six-figure salary, Nancy Kadeni, thank you. You realize that a six-figure salary is anywhere starting from 100,000 all the way to 999,999. I want to ask, do you think there are some people who are paid that much? If yes, what is it that they do to get that paid that much? It is a journey, and why not you? We will be able to get there. I think those are the comments that I got. I can see a question here. Yeah, so this is Job saying, sorry, I'm a bit late. Yeah, just asking, let's say a student who has quit school due to family issues and need a job, probably in what he has studied. How does that go? Education is not bad. It is okay, but the lack of education or lack of finishing going through schools due to other issues should not be an hindrance for you proceeding. And I'll show you why. Education degrees are good, but they are not the determining factors. And I've come to see that over and over with so many people. So stick there with me. I'll talk to you later. Yes, I think there was a question from Nancy, and I think I've already mentioned about that. So I really appreciate, I like the fact that we are engaging. I can see more people even raising their hand. Leave a comment, ask your question. I'll be able to go through it and answer it as we proceed. Another question from Ian. He says that let Bob Collimoy did not have a degree nor a master's, yet he earned a seven-figure salary. How did he hack it? Share if you know. Yes, that is what I'm going to share with you. I think that is a classic example. It is not about your education qualification. Our education system was used or has conditioned us to feel like it is the qualification that really gets us there. but that is not true. I want to say, I have seen other people. There's Bob Coleman. There's even the big entrepreneurs, Steve Jobs. There's Mark Zuckerberg. Bill Gates himself, he did not even finish his college. It is not about the education. And I can talk about even more employees. I think I have a research on that. More employees, not even just entrepreneurs. So let's take in there. Moving on, I want to say, yeah, here we are. So these are the two secrets that I'm going to share with you this evening. Number one, how to trump over more qualified and experienced candidates. And how do you negotiate a six-figure salary? Cynthia, you had asked a question about that. I'm going to answer. Number one, how do you trump over more qualified and experienced candidate? Let me tell you a short story. So in 2011, I got invited for an interview to come and interview with an international school. And when I came to this interview, in between that interview and my getting a job, I had attended several interviews and they were not successful. And I kept on asking myself, what is it that I did differently to get this job that I didn't get that job that I applied? Number one, I realized that first interview, I had a lot of confidence. I had a lot of belief in myself. I had no doubt in my ability to teach. As much as I can tell you, what I had taught earlier, I had taught my mom computers at home, but that still qualified as teaching. I had volunteered to a school where I was going maybe 1 hour or 2 hours for about 2 weeks. That was still teaching. But how do you quantify? How do you say it with a lot of confidence? So this is an international school, has called me for an interview. I go in there. I can remember almost word for word how that interview went. And after the interview, I felt I have done my best. That job is mine. I went back to Sierra. The next day, I got a call from this international school and they informed me, we have given you the job. I was like, sure, that was it. And I was so happy, excited. My dream is coming true. And I'll get to that six-figure salary. I'll get that amount of money that I need to be paid. But later on that afternoon, I got another call from the same company telling me, unfortunately, we had offered you the position, but right now we are taking back the offer. You are not going to get that job. And I got devastated. And I asked, why? And the explanation was, this was an international school which was taking students to get to the IGCSE. It was their first candidate class, and they needed someone who is experienced with international curriculum, in that case, the British curriculum, to be able to take these students to do their IGCSE, their final exam. And as much as I came out as the best candidate, the board felt I will not be the right candidate because I don't have the skills, I don't have the experience, I don't have any qualification in international education and British curriculum to that matter. And I understood that explanation. But what I like most about that story is that these people were more qualified than I was. They ended up picking the second best candidate who was more qualified, who had more experience than me. But at the same time, they didn't get a job because I did a good job in the interview. And so it's not about, you should not be focused about other qualified candidates. What if there's someone with a degree? What if there's someone who has this? What if there's someone who has 5 years of experience? I only have 2 or I have none. That should not be your worry. You can be able to present yourself in a way that really gets people's attention and they see your competence and your confidence through the interview. Now, that did not only work for me. Here's another gentleman that we have helped through our company. And this is an email he sent me together with my colleague Maureen. And he says, "Dear Daniel, I am grateful for your services and I would like to give you feedback. The CV helped me get 5 interviews, 3 finance assistant position and 2 finance officer position. Lucky enough, I managed to secure the finance officer job, which I'm starting in January. Please find attached the job description to update my CV for the new position." This is a gentleman who just followed exactly what I shared with him. what I've seen working. And he got 5 interviews, different position, and he was lucky to get the job that he wanted. Actually, he ended up sending me now the job description to update his CV. One of the key things about the services that we give, there is about professional CV writing. How do you not leave the application to a matter of, will they call me or not? Use a CV that you are sure of. You will get invited for an interview and start preparing right away. Here is another person, Chep Kurui. Hey, Daniel, thank you for always sharing how to answer questions in interviews. In the beginning of this year, I secured a job that I have been dreaming to be a registry officer, and now I am one. They got their dream job. Thank you and be blessed. This is just this year, 2020, on 14th of January. And this is not just there are so many emails that I keep on getting like this of people that we have helped. And I'm wondering, why should you not be the next person who is sending me this kind of feedback? Happy customer Jane saying, thank you guys for writing my CV in a professional way. I secured myself a job within few months. I'm happy for the result. My current employer was pleased by my CV in such a way that I cannot explain. I went for 4 interviews and still emerged the best. Thank you guys. Where else do you get that kind of feedback? So it is something that is predictable. There is a way that you can do things that will give you the exact results that you want. And I'm here to tell you it is possible. It has worked for me. It has worked for others. Why not you? Probably these are some of the questions that you're having in your head. How long does it take for you to get to that 6-figure salary? I will tell you that this is a marketplace. And when you come to the marketplace, you are paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace. And you are also paid for the value that you have. So there's the idea of you being valuable and the idea of you bringing in value. It takes time to make yourself valuable. It takes time to create the value that you bring on the market, but you're never paid for the time, but you're paid for the value. So it's not a matter of question of how long, but do you have the value? What about office politics? I will share with you, how do you use office politics to your advantage? You cannot do away with office politics. They will always be there, but there's a way you can use it to your advantage to progress and keep on having those positions and being a person of influence. How do I convince the management? Actually, you cannot convince the management. It is very hard to try and make someone change their mind. I don't advocate convincing anyone. I advocate influence. How do you influence the management that you're the right candidate? There are different ways to actually influence the management that you're the right person for that job, for that responsibility, for that promotion. And it is a predictable way of doing it. Do I need to quit my job? You don't necessarily need to quit your job. There are some opportunities you can be able to get to that 6-figure salary within your same job, within the same organization. And in some cases, you will need to move to another job. And I will show you how do you differentiate between the two. Is it possible for me? Yes, it is possible for you to get to that 6-figure salary. It has happened to me. It has happened to other people. Why not you? We are not any special. So it is possible to trump over other candidates who are more qualified than you. That is a fact. And before I go to the second secret, probably I'll just stop and get to answer any questions and see what charts or things that we have as I go through the first. Please let me know, has that first secret, what have you learned from it? What is it that you have taken home as that thing that is of value? Okay, quite a lot. There's Faith who says, I will be glad to know how to triumph over experienced candidate, build your confidence over other candidates. Yes, I hope that has been helpful. Let me know, has it helped you? And what I've just shared. I am just a Form 4 leaver currently working in a certain company in Nairobi, but I would love to get more and earn a 6-figure salary. How must I hoover to this place? it is possible. The number one is, how do you communicate your value? I think I've talked about your value, but we can be able to talk more. That is Edison. There's someone here. I can't see the name. It's just some series of numbers. Let's start. Let's start already. Then question later. I'm excited. Oh, thank you. What are the ABC of getting there? I think as I proceed, you'll be able to see I did a BCom. There's Francis. I did a BCom in finance, but have not experience in the field. How can I get a job? You don't need to have experience. You don't need, it's what value do you bring in? And every company know their entry-level jobs, and you can be able to get there. So Francis, let's communicate. I'll be able to share with you exactly. Sound suddenly softened. What happened? Okay, probably you can't hear me clearly. Let me know if anyone who has a problem with the sound. That was Joyce Dogo. Yeah, I can see from my end the sound is okay. But if you have any problem, let me know. Then I can see there's Faith again. We are in an era where most employees are focusing more on degrees. How can you beat that culture? It's about the value that you bring in. Degrees that don't necessarily mean that you're valuable. This is a value-based marketplace. You exchange money for something that is of value. You first focus on making yourself more valuable. Then we can move on to how do you trade that value. Hope that is helpful. Ivy, even with a degree still not getting employed, why not? It's not the degree that helps you get employed. You can get employed with or without a degree. So that should not be the issue. Nancy, I wonder, is there something like over experience for a position? Yes. And also, what if you have much experience with not require the level of education? How do you really convince the employer that you can do the job with the level of education below? Now, unfortunately, there's such a term called overqualified, and I don't really believe that is a good terminology. It's not about qualification. It's about the value that you're bringing in. You can use that qualification to your advantage, or you can just show as if you just have a lot of qualification, or a lot of experience, and it doesn't make any difference in the bottom line. How you package it for the other person to see that actually this is something that is of value, it's going to help them. Understanding what is it that they want to achieve and linking that to you helping them achieve that. That is very important. I think I'll share more about that, Nancy. Yeah? Marketing with the clickbait, we understand. Let's get back to the 2 key points. Okay. I don't appreciate, I'm not necessarily marketing. These are comments from people, and I'm just responding to that. We'll get to the 2 key points in a short while. Influence is the better way of getting things. Thank you. Wonderful presentation. I really benefit. Let's stick on. Let's get to the second kind of question. I can see what question here. How do you follow up the member who have attended your training? And we'll keep in touch for any courses. Yeah, I'll share with you later on how we'll be able to follow up. But at the same time, the chat is, or the question, this is private. I'm the only one who can see it. Leave me your email address, your phone call, your number. I'll be able to contact you. If you want to get my number, I can see someone calling me. Probably they want to see if it's true that I'm live. I'll not be able to answer the question for now, sorry. So moving on, we'll get in touch. Nancy Hesbon, I think I've answered most of the question. I'll be talking about postgraduate. Hi, if I may, I'm a graduate with a postgraduate degree, and yet I have yet been employed for the last 1 year during excluding the volunteer work and the small internship. I have not been offered any permanent in position, even if I have attended more than 10 interviews. Why, with my qualification and awards, I still haven't received the job? I think I've mentioned that in a different way. So let me just put this into silent. Good. Now, education is good. Qualifications are good, but how you present them they make the difference. How do you present that qualification as something that is of value? How does that directly impact the progress of the company to where they want to head to? So there are different ways, and I'll talk about like the professional CV. I'll talk about it shortly. Stick with me. I'll be able to answer all that. So Ivy, we'll keep in touch. I can put my email address in the comments, or you can write it down, daniel@careerpoint.co.ke. So I think I can see, let me just chat you and put my email, daniel@careerpoint.co.ke. Keep in touch. I'll be able to see you, but still stay in through this session. So number 2 secret that I wanted to share with you this evening is, how do you negotiate a 6-figure salary? Now, there was a study that was done by a company called JOBVITE, and they had a very, very interesting finding. And that is some of the findings that I'm going to share with you. And the first thing they said is that 84% of salary negotiations result to higher pay. Out of 100 people who were interviewed, who went ahead and negotiated for a salary increment, 84% of them were successful. So I can assure you today, if you decide you want to negotiate your salary with your current employer, chances of you getting an increase is 84%. So chances are high that you will get a salary increase. However, here's now where things get a little bit tricky. Only 14% of the employees negotiate salary at their current jobs. Only 14% of employees negotiate salaries. So you find that there's a very small number of people who are negotiating, while only that small number of people who are negotiating end up getting a higher salary. So why is it so? I continued with my research and I realized, or I learned about something called egocentric bias, whereby the egocentric bias is something that we are so much focused on our own efforts and our own situation, where we don't see what is really happening with the other person. And it is a two-way thing. I'll give a practical example. In a working place, you can see an employee who really does a very good job. They always go over and above what is expected of them. They over-deliver, and they are great employees, and they bring in the results. And they know it, they do it, and they're happy about it. But unfortunately, they are wondering, why is it that my boss doesn't see that? Why don't they appreciate me? Why don't they promote me? And unfortunately, the boss, the person who is in charge, your line manager, is fully concentrated in their own situation, whereby they don't even see what is happening to you. So you go home frustrated that your boss does not see what you do. But on the other side, your boss doesn't really see, actually, they are so much focused on their own situation. So what do? You really need to bring it to their attention. You really need to say it up. You will be surprised how much influence you have when you bring some of these issues up. And that is why only 14% actually go ahead and say, this is happening. Now, I just want to ask a question. How many of you right here have ever tried to negotiate for a higher salary in your current job? We come from a society where we only negotiate salary where we are at an interview, want to get a new job so that we can get a higher pay. But just raise your hand or just say, yes, I have. I can see some hands going up. How many of you have ever tried to negotiate a salary in your current job, and how did it go? I really appreciate to get to know that 7 people actually raising their hand. How did it go? I will do my own calculation and tell you if it also comes back to 84% of the salary negotiation goes, they end up being successful. So the point is, anyone confident enough to try usually succeeds. Are you confident enough to go out there and try negotiate for your salary? If you are, you will succeed. So here are some tips that I want to share with you, how you can be able to negotiate. Number 1, you need to know the salary you want before you get into the negotiation, before you start the negotiation. It sounds like a simple tip, but you'll be surprised. If you get into that negotiation table or that conversation and you really don't know what you want, you will be thrown off your game. And I have seen this also happening in an interview where someone is asked, how much should we pay you? And they're like, they're not so sure. There's different kind of advice. Say a range, say a figure. Don't say a specific figure. Say a range, say an average figure. It's such kind of a thing. But you really need to know how much you should be paid. Some of a question I get, how should I answer that question? I usually throw it back to you. How much do you really want to get paid? You tell me how should I answer the question? I ask you, how much should you really be paid? The first thing you need to know, what is your bottom baseline? Like, if I get a job, my all expenses, my transport, my fare, my rent, you're paying school fees, if you're supporting someone, all the bills that you have, if they add up to 30,000, you're sure that if you're given 29,999, you're going at a loss. You should be able to know that figure. Then from there, what is the markup that you want to put? So you need to know the figure. And this figure is based on your value, on your worth. How much are you worth? Do you know your worth? There are tools you can use, and I'll share with you how do you get to know your worth. And tip number 2, I want to tell you, make the company realize your value. There's one thing about knowing your value. And the next stage is, how do you make the person, the boss, your company realize the value that you're bringing on board? What is your contribution? What is your meaningful contribution? What is your worthwhile while you're in that company? It should be able to come out very clearly. And it's not about qualification. It's not about your experience. It's about what are you bringing on board. It might be attached to your qualification. It might be attached to your experience, but experience or qualification is not the main thing. Hope you get the difference. And thirdly, you need to use comparables to justify higher salaries. At some point, you'll get where you need to use to compare salaries based on the industry that you're in, the position that you're in, the kind of work that you're doing, how much is being paid out there, how much are other employers paying for that, how much is that service or value worth. And I want to finish up with these 2 examples that I want to show right here. Number 1, there's this gentleman called Julius, who sent me an email. And this is February 13th, yeah, saying, greetings this evening. I am writing to appreciate your work. It's barely 2 months after I used your review CV. I'm glad that I have landed 2 jobs. I have taken the one I prefer. I am working towards completing my course, M&A, Monetary Evaluation. Career Point Solutions, you are the best. So this is a gentleman, barely 2 months after he joined the program, he got his job. He actually got 2 jobs and opted for one. Put that in mind. Here's the next email I got from a gentleman called Lawrence. He says, I'm happy to inform you that after you guys reviewed my resume, I received 3 different calls for interviews within a span of 24 hours. Within a span of 1 week, I attended all the interviews, and fortunate enough, I secured all the 3 jobs. This was after a pregnant search for a job for 1 whole year. I only had the difficult task choosing which one to go for, but eventually I opted for one and politely and professionally declined the other 2. Thank you. Thanks a great deal. Please convey my gratitude to your entire team. Now, I want you to take a look at these 2 emails that I got. This gentleman, within a span of 24 hours, got invited for 3 interviews. He attended all the 3 interviews. He ended up picking one. But Julius got 2 job offers and he opted for one. So my question to you, when you have 2 opportunities, 2 or more opportunities, and you have to pick up on one, what do you think is one of the greatest factors that you will use to decide which one to go for? Yeah, leave it in the chat. Just type it right now. I'll take a moment. I'll read them through. If you have more than 2 job opportunities and you have to pick on one, which one do you think? What is the greatest factor that you will use to determine which one you will go for? I can see some people chatting, answering that. Yeah. So of course, Anne Wangi says salary. The other person, William, salary. I'm afraid that, okay, that was not an answer to that. I'll come back to that. Yes, most of the biggest factor that you use to decide which one you go for is salary. And you can be able to actually work the 2 companies against each other and get the most out of it. If they really see the value that you're bringing in, you can say this offer is like this. You can negotiate and end up getting to what you really want. I can see more people maybe answering, yeah, job security and salary. Yeah, working time, looking for benefits and career growth. Benefits has something to do with salary. Career growth and the package, that is Galaxy 8 app. The salary comes in, best benefits. Yes, benefits and the package. It's all about salary. And you can be able to get to that point where you can be able to get 2, 3, 4 more jobs with what I'm about to share with you. So it is possible to negotiate for a higher salary and get it. Many people have done that and they have gotten it. 84% of people who negotiate for salaries end up being successful. Probably these are some of the questions that you're having in your head. How do I go ahead? And how do I know I'm heading in the right direction? We will share with you some of the tools that you can use to keep you into check and track your progress and know if you're really going to the right direction. How do I network with the right people? I did my research and I got to realize that 85% of jobs are gotten through networking. And as a matter of fact, most of these jobs are for management and leadership positions. These jobs are not advertised, and you can only get this job through networking. One thing I will mention is that as part of this thing we call the Badass Pro skills, you will be in a community of high net worth individuals that you can easily network with to get the right people, the right company, the right organization to help you proceed. So that is a tip by itself. You need to have the right networks, and I will share with you how. Someone is calling me to confirm that I am online. Yes, I'm the one who is online. Please let me finish this at 9. I'll call you back. You want to confirm it is a live event? Yes, it is live. I can take a look at the clock. It is 8. Let me check here. It is 8:19. Yeah, on Thursday, 2nd April. Probably the question is, am I too young? Am I too old? It has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with how old or how young it is. You can use both to your advantage. I've helped people who are 40, 50, and they're asking, is this really right for me? And I tell them you can use that as to your advantage. And they have seen how they can talk about their age, their experience as something that is of value. You are a young person, you can still talk about your age and your enthusiasm and what is ahead of you as an advantage. Does it matter? What matters most? Is it experience or qualification? I think I've just said neither. It is how you communicate, what is it that you have that works for you? If it is experience, use it. If it is qualification, use it. But you cannot have the two compare. They have different spectrum. How do I balance work and personal life? You will be able to get a good job, which you can be able to negotiate flexible working hours. Now, it is taught, of course, as much as you go up the ladder, more is expected of you, but it is important also to know how do you balance, because sometimes you will end up sacrificing your family just because of the money that you're getting. Money you say you want to use them to help your family, but you don't have time for that. I'll share with you how you can be able to balance the two. How do I measure and track and evaluate my progress? There are tools, and I'll share with you how you can be able to track your progress. I think I've mentioned that. How do I fix myself in the succession plan? Some companies have a succession plan, and they don't just get someone from anywhere to come in, but they groom people within their company, and they have that kind of succession plan. There is a way that you can be able to put yourself in that succession plan without even them noticing, and they end up grooming you and helping you. And I will be able to share with you how you do that. What are the qualities of a person with a six-figure salary? These qualities, I can tell you, people who earn a lot, people who are successful in their career, they have something things in common. And I'll share with you what it is. And how do I get started? I'm going to share with you right away in a short while. Otherwise, I want to say this, and I want to ask this. Please type this in the comment. If I show you exactly how to get your dream job, do you believe you can be able to get a six-figure salary? If I show you exactly how you get your dream job, do you believe you can be able to get to a six-figure salary? I'm just waiting here. Do it in the chat. I'll just mention 2-3 people who are able to respond to that. Sorry, I can see. Yes, Margaret saying yes. Nancy, yes, strongly believe I can get it. Then there's Sandra. I just used career points to update my CV. Hope you put best in the coming months. Yes, thank you for that, Sandra. Yeah, there's James Derito say, yes, anything is possible. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Anne, yes, I believe. There's yes, I do. Galaxy Tab say, yes, I believe. I really appreciate all yes, or more yeses coming in. I will go through all of them. But since that is possible, let me proceed. And to say this, all this is possible through a program I call the Badass Pro program. And I just want to ask for your permission. I can see we still have a few minutes before we finish up. And I also want to answer as many questions as possible. Is it okay for you guys, for me to share, take about 10 minutes to share with you about this program called the Badass Pro? I define my own destiny, and how this program can be able to help you get to a six-figure salary. It will answer most of those questions that you have been having in your head, and it is all possible through the Badass Pro program. So I want to ask a question again. I'll wait for your engagement. Just type in yes. Would you want me to take a few minutes, 10 minutes or so, to share with you this program called the Badass Pro program, how it can be able to help you to get to that six-figure salary? And as I wait, I can see Anne say, please do. There's Vincent saying yes. There's Alfred saying yes. Nancy saying yes. Yeah, Peter, sure, go ahead. That is Peter Nzioki. There's Monica saying yes, I appreciate that. There's Grace Ndongo. There's Tesla saying yes. Monica, Wawero, Edward, or Lal. Oppo A7 saying yes, go ahead. I think, yeah, I might not read all of them. There's Edward. Okay, I talked about Edward. I talked about, who else is here? There's Joseph Bidi. There's Vincent Quendo say yes, go ahead. There's Ali Hussein. There's Thomas Otieno. There's Technospark saying kindly go ahead. I appreciate it. Okay, I think that is enough. I am overwhelmed. Let me talk to you about this program called the Badass Pro program. Now, Badass is an acronym, and Badass basically stands for an individual who is bold, an individual who is very authentic in what they do based on their skills and their competence and the value that they're bringing on board, an individual who is driven, an individual who is very aggressive, someone who is skilled, and at the same time, they are self-assured. As a matter of fact, there are 3 core values that you will end up getting as a Badass Pro. You will be a very confident, aggressive, and competitive individual. Those 3 things will make the difference. They will make you get that 6-figure salary. Confidence, and that is what is shown there by what we talk about being self-assured. There's that bit of you being aggressive. Someone who is aggressive takes action, tries out things, and see and learn from their mistakes and keep on building up on it. And someone who is competitive. You don't get scared of competition. You are good enough. You are bold enough to go for it. You are driven. You have the skills. You are skilled. And I'm proud to say, personally, I am a badass pro. Are you ready to be a badass pro? So when you join this program called the Badass Pro program, there are several things that you are going to get from it. And number one, you will get a 6-week coaching program that will help you inculcate these skills of being a Badass Pro. Badass Pro 6-week coaching program, I can value it. Of course, I can't put a real figure to it, but I can say it is worth more than 100,000. But let's talk about 100,000 in terms of value that you get from the program. In this program, the first week we'll talk about how do you get started, because it is possible for you to get to that 6-figure salary. In the second week, I will share with you how do you get to know your worth, how much should you be paid, and once you ascertain your worth at this current point, what are some of the things that you will do to keep on increasing your worth, so that when you're negotiating for that salary, you know this is my worth, and you go for nothing less than that. That is what I talk about, being aggressive, confident, and competitive. In week 3, we'll talk about how do you build your confidence and competence, because confidence and competence, they go hand in hand. The more confident you have, the more competent you become. The more competent you become, the more confidence you have. How do you inculcate this thing? Week 3, I'll coach you through how to master communication, influence, and networking. Remember, it's all a matter of communicating. How you communicate, it's not about just talking or writing, but what information are you passing through? How do you influence people through your communication? How do you network with these highly net worth individuals to get the right people? Week 5, I'll take you through what we call tracking and evaluating. We'll put the tools to track your, measure your progress, how you're progressing, and seeing the trend and seeing what is working for you and what is not working for you to ensure that you come back to the right program. And finally, we'll talk about salary negotiation skills. Once you have built up your value, once you know how much you are worth, how do you negotiate your value in that table? And these are key skills that you will get. Now, this 6-week coaching program is very intensive. It is both physical and online. We'll have some online sessions. We'll have some one-on-one. We'll have some worksheet that I'll send to you. You will work it out. And at the end of this 6 week, you will be proud to say that you are a Badass Pro. The program is worth 100,000. Now, on top of this, if you decide to join, of course, I'm not going to charge you 100,000. This is the value that you're going to get, but there are a lot of benefits that you're going to get. Number one, you will get to do what we call a professional certification masterclass. Again, its value is about 100,000. We have 4 masterclasses, professional certification courses that we offer. I know some of you who are here have already joined one of these courses. We have what we call professional project management. There is project monitoring and evaluation. There is strategic management and leadership. And we have fundraising and resource mobilization. Now, when you join the Badass Pro program, you get to pick one of the courses here. And if you're already doing, for example, project management, you can still top it up and join the program, or you can pick any of these other courses. These are professional certification that gives you the real skills that you need in the marketplace. Let me give you a secret. How is it that we have these main 4 courses? One of the ways, or one of the areas that you'll be able to get paid well and where the money is working with NGOs, international organizations, and working with development jobs. And some of the key skills they are looking for is project management, project monitoring and evaluation, fundraising, and resource mobilization. So if you're looking to get into the NGO, international organization, UNEP, UN, these are the qualifications that you need. So they will help you get there. And the other thing we came to realize is for you to be able to command authority and respect, and to actually attract the 6-figure salary, you need to be able to, you will be working at a management and leadership position. So when you pick up the course, strategic management and leadership, you are playing in that league. So you will get one of these professional courses when you join the Badass Pro program. So far, Then, in addition to that, in addition to the 6-week coaching program, in addition to the certification or the masterclass, you will also get professional CV writing, which is the value you get out of this is about 300,000. So right now, so far, the value that you will get from the program is about 203,000. So what's this about professional CV? Unfortunately, most of us have CVs, which are just a documentation of where you went to school, where you have worked, your hobbies, and probably contacts of your referee. But that is not a professional CV. A professional CV is a document that you use to market yourself. Now, think about any company that has a new product, a new service they want to bring to the market. They will need to market it. They will use TV, newspaper, radio, and all that kind of thing. But you don't have the luxury of having a billboard about yourself. So you need a professional CV to market you. And what are you marketing? That should also be very clear. You are selling your skills, your qualification, your capabilities, your experience to the employer, and how you present it. And this is where communication actually starts. The CV is the first window through which an employer sees you through, and how you communicate the value is very important. Now, take a look at some of this CV. It is said it takes about 6 seconds for a recruiter or an employer to decide if they're going to read your CV or not. Does your CV beat the 6-second mark? Let's see. Now, this is a CV of a gentleman called Daniel Mutuku. He's male, Kenyan, married. You can see date of birth, ID number, on address, email, and all that. And this is how most of our CVs look like. I want to give you about 6 seconds, and probably you don't need, you might need less. When you see this just on top of the CV, and I ask you, what can this guy do? What do you think this guy can do? This part of the CV communicates nothing. They don't communicate any capabilities of this gentleman. And unfortunately, this is how our CVs look like. If you take your CV and fold it into two, the top half, does it look like this? Now, if we give this guy a second benefit of doubt and scroll down to this section, which is called career objectives, which most of us have this section, yeah? I have received so many CVs, and I've picked some of the sample career objective statements that I get, probably from your CV. And this is what they say. Number one, you see a CV saying, I am seeking employment with a company where I can grow professionally and personally. Again, the question is, what can you do? As a matter of fact, this statement here is very selfish. You're telling the employer what you're going to gain from them rather than what you are going to bring on board. Another common career objective I see, I'm seeking challenging opportunities where I can fully use my skills for the success of the organization. Do you know the success criteria of the organization? Again, good wording, but saying nothing. I've seen also this one. I want to succeed in a stimulus, challenging environment that will provide me with advancement opportunity. Again, being selfish, telling the employer what you want to gain from them rather than what you're bringing on board. I have also seen, I want to succeed in, no, there's another one here. I want to excel in this field with hard work. All these are good wordings, but they don't add value to your CV. So you should throw away your CV if it has such generic statement. You can copy this statement from one CV to another person and it won't make any difference. So this, you need a professional CV, and you will get that once you join the Badass Pro program. On top of that, we will give you sample cover letter. Again, the value of this is about 2,000 shillings. And the reason why we're giving you sample cover letters, the sample cover letter is the main intention is to communicate to the employer that you are the right candidate for the position. I want you to take a look at this. I picked a random job for an accountant, and I picked some of the responsibilities. So one of the responsibility here is review and establish proper accounting system, support budgeting and forecasting activities, liaise with internal and external auditors. Somewhere in your cover letter, I suggest you should have a statement that reads, I have the ability to review and establish proper accounting system. In my previous employment at ABC, I was involved in liaising with internal and external auditors, such that when someone reads these statements here, they feel like, yeah, this is the person we were looking for. So you will get sample cover letters. On top of that, we will give you a LinkedIn profile guide. Again, the value going for about 25,000. So far, you can see the value that you will get alone by joining the program Badass Pro is about 207,500. With LinkedIn, you need to be able to optimize your profile. Most international organizations, NGOs, are hiring through LinkedIn. Remember one of the statistics I gave you earlier, 85% of the jobs are gotten through networking. And one of the greatest professional networking platforms is LinkedIn. And this is where the jobs are. I would lie to you. So you need to have a professional profile on LinkedIn and optimize it. Actually, you don't even need to send your CV at some point. You just press a button, it sends your profile there, they review your profile, you get a job. I've had some people who have gotten jobs through LinkedIn just because they had their professional profile, even without applying for a job. So we'll give you a guide which you will use to optimize your profile on LinkedIn. And on top of that, we will give you interview coaching that will prepare you for an interview. Not all interviews are the same, but you realize that there are certain questions that will always be asked in an interview. And the more prepared you are to answer these questions, the fact that you have thought through this question in advance, I can tell you 99.99% of all the interviews that you'll attend, the first question they will ask you is, tell us about yourself. And how you answer that question will determine how the rest of the interview goes. So if you're well prepared for the interview, if you think through some of the questions that you will be asked, you have ready answers that you have prepared for them, I can assure you, you will be the candidate of choice. So far, the value you will get all through this program amounts to about 210,000 shillings. But of course, I'm not going to ask you to pay 210,000 shillings to join the program. So what is it that it's going to be? I want to ask you at this point, are you ready to be a Badass Pro? If you're ready, leave it in the comment, just in the chat, just say, yes, I'm ready. Are you ready to become a Badass Pro? Someone who is bold, authentic, driven, aggressive, skilled, and self-assured, and you are confident, aggressive, and competitive. Let me see. Just say, yes, I'm ready, and I'll be able to continue and answer your questions as we finish up. Okay, sorry, this chat is not popping up. I can see Joshua say, yes, I'm ready. I can see Monica saying, yes, I'm ready. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. Yes, I'm ready. Who's saying? There's Melvin. There is, oh, I keep on getting, there's so many coming in. Oh, Vincent, there's James Derito, there's Margaret. I might not be able to mention all of you. There's Joshua, there's Nancy, there's Monica, there's William, Richard, there's a Tesla, there's a Galaxy, Oppo, there's Anne, there's Sam, Francis, thank you. I'm overwhelmed by your response. So many of them. I am very glad we are very much engaged. There's Grace Ndogo saying yes. There's Ivy saying yes, I'm ready. There's Alfred. There's thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm overwhelmed. I really appreciate that. So, what is it? How do you become a Badass Pro? So the thing is, if this program was just to get you a 6-figure salary, do you think it will be worth it? If the only thing that once you join this program, it gets you to that point of where you get a 6-figure salary, do you think it is worth it? Again, you can leave your response, but I'm sure there will come so many, but you can answer it. Yes. Is it, if this program, all it does is get you to the 6-figure, do you think it is worth it? So I had 2 choices when I was thinking in terms of how do I price this program. The first choice was to make it so cheap and get as many people as possible in the program. Or the alternative is to just ask people to put slightly a higher investment as for me to be able, number one, to dedicate more time and effort to guarantee their success. And of course, I went to the second option. But I don't want just to have everybody in, but I have enough people so that I can dedicate my effort and time to ensure that you are successful. So how much is it going to cost? For those people who are live here in this session, I am giving you the Badass Pro program for only Kenya shillings 19,999. And all you need to do, you can pay it in full, or you can just, for you to get started, pay only 50% of it, which is 9,999 through the till number 715732. And all you will get is this, the 6 weeks coaching program. You'll get a certification masterclass. You'll get a professional CV. You'll get sample cover letters, LinkedIn profile guide, and interview coaching, all worth at 210,000, but you are going only to get it for 19,999. Or you can just make a 50% deposit, which is 9,999. And you can make the payment through our M-Pesa, pay goods and services. Till number is 715732. Here's the better part of it. There is no excuse, absolute no excuse for you not to take this program, because there's a 100% guarantee money back. If the program doesn't work for you, if it is not exactly what we share it is, if you don't see any impact in terms of your application within the next 60 days, no response from employer to a point of even securing a job, we will refund your money back 100%. Our offices are located in Maendeleo House. That is opposite Anniversary Towers. Third floor, room number 6. Come to our office, we will give you back your money. Maendeleo House, opposite Anniversary Towers, third floor, room number 6. Now, as I finish up, I want to say this. We have 2 types of people in this live webinar. And there are people who listen to such great information. You shake your head and say, yeah, that was really great, but you do nothing. And there are some people who actually see that kind of information. They say, yes, this was a great program. And they go ahead and pick up the program. And from experience I've seen, it is those people who take action that actually benefit. Knowledge, there is the term knowledge is power, but that is not the full truth. You already have the knowledge, but only applied knowledge is power. If you're out there, you decide to take the opportunity, you are the kind of people who end up succeeding if you do something about it. So my question to you, which kind of person are you? Are you the person who says it was a great thing and do nothing about it? Or are you the person who ends up doing something? And here's the thing. What is the return on investment of doing nothing? Nothing will change for you. You will continue being in the same state that you're in. But if you decide to take action, the return on investment is that you will be able to get that 6-figure job. You will start your journey in growing your value, and you'll be able even to become that confident, aggressive, and competitive individual that can be able to negotiate higher salaries and always get it. So my question to you is, which kind of person are you? And the thing is, you have 24 hours. From research, it has been said that once you hear such a great presentation, once you hear such valuable information, you have 24 hours to take action. Because chances are, after 24 hours, if you do nothing based on what I've shared with you today, chances of you taking action goes back next to 0. Your chances of taking action will reduce to almost 0. So I want to ask you, not necessarily even joining the Badass Pro program, not even paying for it, based on the information that I've already shared with you. What are you going to do? I want you to write it down in the next 24 hours. What are you going to do based on the information that I've already shared with you? Because as from tomorrow, that right now is 8:44. By tomorrow, 8:44 p.m., if you have done nothing about it, chances of you taking action is next to 0. And the clocks are started ticking now. So there is my contact. You can contact me, call me Daniel@careerpoint. That is my email, yeah? Daniel@careerpoint.co.ke. To get more information about this program I call Badass Pro, go to careerpoint.co.ke/Badass. Go to www.careerpoint.co.ke/Badass, and you'll get more information about it. Now, as I've said, this is what you're going to get for only 19,999. And this slide, this is a special offer for only those people who will take up this offer In the next, let me say 15 minutes, we will be closing at exactly 9. If you take this offer between now and 9, the next 15 minutes, if you pay the 19,999, or you just pay the 50%, 9,999 through the till number. In addition to all that I've said, number one, you will get for all the 4 certification courses. Remember, typically when you join the program, this offer is only valid until Sunday midnight. So between now and Sunday midnight, you need to make at least a 50% payment of 9,999. But if in the next 15 minutes, you make the payment through the till number, I think one of my colleagues is online, that is Maureen. She has the phone that has the till number. If you make your payment 999, you will get all the services that you offer. Plus, out of all the certification courses, you will get all the 4 courses. That is project management, project monitoring and evaluation, project, there's fundraising and resource mobilization, and the strategic management and leadership. I know there are some of you who are here who have maybe paid for one of the courses before. If you just top up, for example, you had paid for the course about 14,999. If you top up the 5,000 on top, you will join the Badass Pro program and you will get all the 4 courses right away if you do that in the next 15 minutes. So this is only for those people who would like to take action. And I have a lot of surprises. If you join the program right now, I want you to just, on the comment or the chat, just say, yes, I've paid for it. If you're in a position to forward the text, it's okay, but I will get to know who has paid. So in the chats, I'm waiting to see whoever pays right now and get all the 4 courses. Sorry for this. I'm trying to see people who have paid. So how much do you charge for professional CV? I will take action. That is Tesla. Let me know. Sorry, I have to leave. That is Timothy. Okay. Okay. In addition to getting all the 4 courses, I have something for you. You will get a notebook, this notebook tagged, I am a Badass Pro. So I have created several notebooks for you. So you'll get a notebook fully labeled, I am a Badass Pro, if you're able to sign up right now. And in addition to that, you will also get a t-shirt well labeled, I am a badass. I define my own destiny. So I'll be waiting for people. Just write in the comments, say, yes, you have taken up the offer, or just pay the deposit. You get all the 4 courses. You get a t-shirt. You get a notebook labeled, I am a badass. I define my own destiny. And we will be up and going. So I will check your chat shortly, but I want to say this, yeah? The best investment you can ever have is to invest in yourself. For every shilling that you invest in yourself, you will have a return of 30 shillings over time. That is a 3,000% return on investment. And my question to you is, where will you invest and get a 3,000 return on investment? Is it stock market? Is it real estate? Nothing will give you that much. It is only when you invest in yourself that you can be able to get that kind of return. I got this rule from Brian Tracy. It's called the 10-10 rule. And from our society, we come whereby we're told 10% of the income that you get, you tithe it. While I put it to you, why don't you take another 10% of your income and actually invest it in yourself? Put it for it to grow yourself. So if you keep on taking 10%, tithe it to help other people, take another 10% to help yourself. So I can see one of Maureen, she's there. What are you saying? You can put it in the chat. There we go. So I'm going to source funds. I really love the program. Get ready. Yes, I'm ready to pay. Please go ahead, Francis. I'm waiting for you. You make the payment while we are still live. You'll be able to get all those additional days are done. I will pay 5. Already did M&D. Yes, Adnan, thank you very much. You have already done the M&D, pay the 5,000, you top it up, you get into the program, do it within the next, we have 10 minutes. You get a labeled notebook, you should get the t-shirt. And in addition to that, you will get all the 4 courses that we are offering. I can see someone else say, how much do you charge for CV? I think that was James. Charges for CV writing will range between 1,000, 1,500, 2,500. It depends. But in this case, once you join the program, you get the CV writing already in the program. I can see I am going to source funds. I'm ready. I'm loving the program. Thank you very much. That is Galaxy. There's Estanjero. I joined too late. Sad. We'll catch up here. You can go through the video. So the thing is, okay, so I don't know why. So I said, if you're able to pay the 50% payment right away, you will get this 6 weeks program, coaching program. On top of that, you will get all the 4 certification. Now, this is a special offer for those people who are paying it right now. If you pay it later on, because this offer runs as from today up to Sunday midnight, Sunday 2nd midnight, you will be able to take up the program. After that, the program will not be available. It will go, because I want to take my time to be able to serve individual people and help you. So it will not be there, but if you pay later, you will only get one of the certification courses, but you pay now, you get all the 4 courses. And at the end of it, you will get a certificate. And yeah, the certificates for the project monitoring and evaluation, they look something like this. We normally have the physical training. We usually give the physical certificate, but for now, because we can't have the physical meeting, you can come to our office and get your certificate. I think, yeah, I can still see we have 9 more minutes. I will be answering some of the questions that have been raised here. And then, yeah, I'm here live. Hopefully I'll be able to go through. So Estanjero, arrange another webinar. Yes, we'll see if we have time to do that, but you can get the recording later for this workshop. Thank you, Esther. I can see Vincent, can this work for guys in upcountry? Yes, it can. It doesn't matter wherever you are, as long as you're showing the value, it will work for you. Most of the courses that we're offering are online. You will be able to get this value wherever you are. You are up, if you're up country right now, you are receiving this live broadcast. So why should it not work for you? I can see someone else here. Okay, that was Esther. I'm sourcing the funds. I'm really loving the program. Thank you very much. That was, I don't know the name. It is just written Galaxy. I want to see how many more people we have here. Oppo saying, I am ready to pay. Please go ahead. The till number is 715732. I'll take action. Thank you, Tesla, for that. I can see what happened to those who have already enrolled to a program. Do you need to pay? Now, I'm sure whatever you paid did not match up to this program. So if you had paid most of the time, I think the offer that last we had was 14,999. Just top up to get to the 19,999 and you get the program. If you had paid more than that, you will get the whole of the program with no extra payment. So Nancy, thank you very much for that. Most of these, I will take action. That is Joshua Bidi. I really appreciate that. Now, I think, I have not been going through the questions, and let me see some of the questions that are already here, quite a lot of them. I paid for the monitoring and evaluation at 5, yes. Now do this, Nancy. I see you had paid some amount. Top it up. At least now do the 5,000. You get to 9,999. If you do it right away, you will get all the 4 courses. If you do it between 9 and Sunday midnight, you will get at least an additional course to whatever you've done and all the services. Thank you. If you don't live in Nairobi, do you provide accommodation? These are online courses. You don't need to come to Nairobi, so you can be able to take the courses wherever you are. We will create a learning account. You will get all the courses, the learning materials, and you will do the assessment. Once you finish, if you're already in Nairobi, we will send the certificate to you through courier services. We mainly use G4S. Okay, what happened to anyone who has enrolled? I think I've answered that. review. It's too short consultation for completing the MAB course. I am here to discuss payment for the job. Okay, I think I'm here to discuss the pay for this job. Okay, yeah, we will keep on communicating. Nancy Kadeji, we have your contacts. I think we'll talk about it. So Maureen, you can just note, Nancy will be able to get back to her. How do you get a job in different field without trading experience if I have a deep passion? That is quite. Now, yes, you can be passionate at a certain area, but you can still go ahead and show your interest in that, be more valuable. And there are different ways to do that. You can volunteer, you can be able to get some online courses, just get a certification, just something that you are interested in. Passion will not only work for you, but you need to be able to back it up. Hope that is helpful. Quite. I can see, hi Daniel, I recently engaged in professional CV writing. I'm looking for that dream job, did finance. Okay, I can see you're putting your number there. Simon Mutuli, we will be able to get back to you. Oh, yes. So Simon, please note that number, Maureen. We will call him back. There's Joshua Billy. Is this monetary evaluation you encourage people to do with your online course to secure an NGO job? Yes, I have been offering this course, encouraging people, because I've seen so many people getting NGO jobs with this monetary evaluation. It is the same course that you will be able to get, or any other course that we are offering. Thank you, Joshua, for that question. The package, oh, I think you answered it. Then there's Ivy. Yes, please leave even your phone number. I'll be able to contact you, and we'll be able to talk more and more questions coming in. I really appreciate. So I want to go back. I can see someone said I paid just on the chat. Okay, I thank you very much. I can see Adan hello, you have already paid. You get the booklet, you get yourself the t-shirt, and you will also get all the services. There's someone called Oppo. Please just give me your name. I don't have the contact, or Maureen, you can chat with me. Let me know who has paid. So far, I can see 2 people have paid, as they say they have paid. They got all the 4 courses. Note that. There's Grace Ndongo. Please share the information. Joined later. Committed to sourcing the funds. If you're able to, I'm going to, okay, let me just share that slide right now. Okay. So here's the thing, yeah. For those people who are taking action right now, this is what you are going to get. Number 1, you'll get a 6 weeks coaching program. That is the Badass Pro program. I've already shown in details. If you pay right now, you get the 4 certification courses right away. If you pay later, you will have to pick one of the certification courses. You will get professional CV writing. You get sample cover letters. You'll get a LinkedIn profile guide. You get interview coaching, all valued at 210,000 shillings. But I am offering to you, this is a special offer that is running between today and Sunday 2nd midnight. It is only going for 19,999. And for you to get started, you just need to make at least a payment of 9,999. If you had paid for any of the courses before, just top it up and you will get advantage of it. So if you top it up now, within the next, I can see like 3 more minutes, you will get the 4 certification courses. You will get the notebook tagged or labeled, I am a badass, I define my own destiny. And on top of that, you also get the t-shirt branded, I am a badass, I define my own destiny. So yeah, hope you got that. Someone had asked for me to show that back. Let me go back to the chat. I can be able to see who is saying what. Okay. I don't know what has happened here. I try to get my chat. Okay, here they go. So you guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much. That is Simon, I guess so, yeah. Also, I can see Francis or Geza saying 9,000 if you're paid. Oh, Maureen is saying, Francis, I really appreciate your sent in your money. Let me know what is your size of your t-shirt. I can be able to send it to you or how you'll get it, plus the notebook. I can see Adan has already paid as topped up the 5,000. I really appreciate. I can see also Nancy has topped up. Maureen, thank you for the information. Eunice Nangela has already paid, so you get in this. Let me know on our communication, which is your size for your shirt, so that I can be able to send it to you, or you can come and collect it in our office. This is great. Is it us answering? It is worth it. I appreciate that. More people. This Francis saying, "Oh, please." I think I don't have my pen here, but I'll note that. Saying, Francis, you take large t-shirt, I'll get it that for you. Please, Maureen, if you're somewhere you can be able to write that down, I really appreciate. You're staying in Mombasa, Changamwe, we will send it as a parcel. We'll take it as a challenge to our side. We will send it as a parcel all the way to Mombasa. We will communicate on email. You saw my email, you'll give me your exact address, Francis, I will send it to you. I really appreciate the fact that you decide to take action. This is great. As I said, there are two types of people. Those who see a great opportunity, you shake your head and say, yeah, that was great, and you do nothing about it. And you know what happens to such kind of people? Nothing really happens to them. They don't get to experience life. They continue with the same situation that they are in. Nothing will change. But the other kind of people who see an opportunity, they get information, and they decide to take action, they go ahead and take action, and they make the difference. What happens to them? These are the people who will end up being successful. You make the cut. I can assure you, it becomes easy for you to become a badass pro. That bold, authentic, driven, aggressive, skilled, and self-assured individual. This is what I want to make of you, and you will get your six-figure salary. I can see someone saying size of the t-shirt large. Yeah, that is the second person. Okay, we'll have two more large. And I think that is it. Unless there's any question that I've not handled, I can see our time is up. We're already at 9:02. That was our time. I'll check out the questions, and I really appreciate you. Thank you very much for staying in long enough for this session. I hope you found value out of it. I really encourage you to join the Badass Pro program, and we will be able to make the difference. I can see, yes, there are some questions which have come in. I will try to tackle them very quickly. Okay, oh, someone saying about, yes, Nancy, I can see your size of t-shirt and where you are in. I will send it to you. Ivy, I've seen your contact details, your phone number. I will be able to call you probably tomorrow, yeah? Let me not call you this night. I will call you tomorrow. Esther Jerry doing the same thing in different companies. How do I change that? I don't get your question. Doing the same thing in different companies. How do I change that? Okay, probably you can paraphrase it much better. Job, how much is project management fee? I join a bit later. Okay, normally the cost goes about 30,000. So that would be the fee if you join as the project management alone. However, I would really encourage you to look for money and pay between now and Sunday. You will get the cost plus the coaching and all the other services for only 19,999. And you only need to pay the 50% to get started. So Job, take advantage of that. Don't live in Nairobi. Okay, I think I had mentioned that. Yeah, I think that is it. I really appreciate. Thank you very much. I can say, Vincent say, thank you for the session. I really appreciate that. I can see all this. This is great. We will keep in touch. I will see you next time when we have the coaching program for those who have joined us. For those others, please know that the window closes on Sunday, 2nd midnight. Otherwise, I really appreciate and have a great evening. I'm out.